Catherine had been working at the Wellington estate for 3 years, cleaning the vast rooms and tending to the gardens. At 52, she was grateful for steady work after her husband passed. The pay was modest, but Mrs. Wellington was kind, and Catherine had a small room in the servants' quarters that felt like home. That Tuesday evening, she climbed the narrow stairs to her attic room, tired from a long day of polishing silver and beating rugs. She pushed open her door and froze. A man lay collapsed on her floor, blood seeping through his white shirt. He was perhaps 60, with silver hair matted with sweat and a face creased with pain. His eyes flickered open, sharp, dark eyes that had seen too much. "Please," he whispered hoarsely, "don't scream." Catherine's nursing instincts, learned from caring for her late husband through his illness, took over. She knelt beside him, assessing his wounds. A gash across his ribs, not too deep. A badly bruised shoulder. Cuts on his hands. "Who are you?" she asked quietly, already reaching for the clean towels she kept folded on her dresser. "Someone who made enemies." He winced as she pressed a towel to his side. "I didn't mean to intrude. Your window was open. I just needed somewhere safe, just for tonight." Catherine looked at him carefully. His clothes, though bloodied, were expensive. His watch alone could probably pay her wages for a year. But his eyes held something she recognized: desperation, vulnerability, the look of someone who'd run out of options. "Can you sit up?" she asked. With her help, he managed to lean against her bed. Catherine brought water, aspirin from her small medicine cabinet, and the first aid kit she kept for minor accidents. "This might hurt," she warned, cleaning the wound on his ribs. He barely flinched. "I've had worse." "I don't doubt it," Catherine said dryly, noticing the old scars that marked his body. "You've lived an interesting life." Despite his pain, he smiled slightly. "That's a diplomatic way to put it. I'm Anthony." "Catherine." She worked efficiently, her hands steady. "I should call the police, you know." "You should," Anthony agreed. "But you won't." "How do you know?" "Because you've already decided to help me. I can see it in your eyes. You're someone who helps wounded creatures, no questions asked." Catherine paused, meeting his gaze. He was right. She'd always been that way, bringing home injured birds as a child, volunteering at the hospice, caring for her husband through 2 years of cancer. "Just tonight," she said firmly. "In the morning you leave, agreed?" "Agreed." She made him tea, gave him 2 of her pillows, and fashioned a makeshift bed on her floor with spare blankets. Then she sat in her only chair, watching him through the evening. "You're not afraid of me," Anthony observed. "Should I be?" He considered this. "Most people are, once they know who I am. I don't know who you are, just that you're hurt and needed help. That's enough for me." Anthony closed his eyes, and Catherine saw something shift in his expression. A softening, as if he'd forgotten what simple kindness felt like. They talked through the night in quiet voices. Anthony told her about his daughter, grown now with children of her own. About his late wife, who'd died 10 years ago. About the life he'd built and the prices he'd paid for it. Catherine spoke of her husband, Robert, a teacher who'd loved literature and bad jokes. Of their son, who lived across the country now, busy with his own family. Of the loneliness that sometimes crept in during quiet evenings. "You remind me of someone," Anthony said as dawn began to lighten the window. "My mother. She had your same calm strength, your same way of seeing people instead of their circumstances." "She raised you well then." Anthony laughed bitterly. "She tried. I didn't always listen. Made choices she wouldn't have approved of. Built an empire she would have feared." Catherine understood then fully who was lying on her floor. The expensive clothes, the scars, the enemies, the way he spoke of empire and fear. "We all make choices," she said gently. "What matters is what we do with the time we have left." A car pulled up outside. Anthony tensed, but it was only Mrs. Wellington's morning delivery. "I should go," he said, struggling to his feet. Catherine helped him, supporting his weight. At the door, Anthony reached into his jacket and pulled out a card. "If you ever need anything, anything at all, you call this number. I don't want payment for basic human decency." "It's not payment, it's gratitude and maybe insurance. The world can be hard on people like you, Catherine, good people. Let me make sure you're protected.